Good morning.
Good morning.
We are going to be convened as the Board of Supervisors. Do I have approval of this tentative agenda?
So moved. Look at that.
I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Minutes of the last meeting.
February 23rd, 2026, Chairperson Bosch held a regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 98 December. Present were Luce, Bosch, Luce, and Ellis with Rasmussen present via Zoom. Motion by Luce and second by Luce to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carries. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of February 16th, 2026 were read and approved claims for payment. In open forum, Jim Moore Jr. asked about the evergreen tree out in front lawn. Luce directed him to talk to the buildings and grounds director. We're also discussed North County K R38 / Madison Avenue about how rough the road has gotten. Adam Clemens, Wright County engineer, will look at the 5-year plan and discuss with the board the options. Amanda Meyer, Wright County auditor, discussed with the medical examiner's mileage reimbursement rate in open forum. The board stated that they have set the mileage rate at 70 cents a mile on January 5th and would like the medical examiners to follow. Melissa Lear, Marley Christoffel, and Lacey Utley with Iowa Primary Care Association provided a brief introduction. There are 7 new districts for behavioral health after the regions were dissolved. Everyone is eligible for systems navigation, which provides information and guidance, help with applications, and supports key transitions. Clemens gave an update on the secondary road department. Rasmussen asked for an update on the foreman position. Discussion was held regarding the positions. Motion by Luce and second by Ellis to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried.
Any additions or corrections? It will stand approved as read. All right, claims have been around. Open forum for public input.
Come on in, Sid.
Okay. Take action on policy for departmental organizational restructure concerning pay. So, we are setting a policy for establishing if there is reorganizational amongst departments, and if their pay is going to be affected, then we're going to decide if we have 3 options here. We can give them a pay freeze until they reach, until the base pay reaches their pay. We could decrease their pay, or we will let the employee voluntarily elect between those 2 options of a pay freeze or decreasing their pay. And then we will give them, according to the attorney, a 30 days written notice prior to it being implemented.
I believe the discussion among the board last week was, that we felt that should be an option for the employee. Is there any changes to that?
Is it policy exempt the sheriff's office? You're the contract.
They probably should, since they're under a separate contract.
Put that in there.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would say.
Is their policy exempt for conservation board because we have our own board? I mean.
I would think it should too. You go under,
If you wanna be fiscally responsible as a board, you're to be heading in that direction, but now you're letting the employee decide. Instead of your department head, who you charge with the budgetary part of it. I mean, there's no good answer here, but you let your department head make the decision. You don't let the employees. Otherwise, you're gonna have chaos.
well, I hope that we wouldn't have chaos. I would hope that we wouldn't have reorganization to that extent where it creates chaos.
I would agree, but if you still have to cut and cut and cut. It's gonna make it hard to cut if you let the employees decide. And I was an employee, but it would be difficult.
I think this is a very rare occurrence at the same time.
Well, we are setting a policy.
And you know my stance, what my stance has been on the piecemeal of giving certain departments certain things. You're opening up another can of worms. And it's a tough decision, Dean, and I get it.
Yep.
I'm just stating my
I'm
opinion.
just thinking through with my head. I'm not ignoring you.
No,
Did you have something, Betty?
I'm trying to think of other situations, so like, let's say, since I'm familiar with the auditor's office, let's say in the auditor's office, Courtney would no longer be the drainage clerk in the auditor's office and would just do real estate full-time. Would she get to keep her full pay, or would she have to reduce? You know, that's where I am. with
But
the
is that
same
her
thing.
choice or is that the
The
auditor's
That's a
choice?
restructuring in
But
the,
that's
yeah.
what you're deciding.
yeah.
Yep.
So that's where,
So
because
she-
we establish pay. We have to approve salaries, because we do certified salaries, and then any change to that. Certified salary needs to be approved by the Board of Supervisors. So that's where I'm trying to think,
She gets half pay out of drainage and half real estate, so if drainage goes away. She's gonna get a salary of the real estate then,
right,
which
so that would
is
be,
a good point.
would you reduce
How
the
do you
pay?
get that money? I have the same, so if
Right.
Yeah.
it isn't a family
Totally
support
different.
worker,
Yeah,
and I don't have that grant anymore, I can't.
right, so in that sense is you restructured, you've changed titles. And I think I said it during the open meeting 2 weeks ago, that I can understand it sucks to reduce because they don't have the title, they don't have that. And it sucks because it's like $3,600 a year, which hurts. That's a lot.
What's the purpose of restructuring?
If you get rid of a position, then they have to go to a different position. And there's a pay cut.
The reason you get rid of a position would be,
Cost savings.
You're
there's the
restructuring,
sticky whip.
you're restructuring within your department.
Other people will be taking on that responsibility.
So each department is handled differently. I think we should leave this up to the department heads to handle their specific situation. Shouldn't be in front of us.
I didn't hear what you said, because the coffee pot was.
Probably,
I feel, all the different departments have a different situation. Like you were saying, you have your own board. I think it should just be left up to the department head to make that decision on how they want to handle it.
I can't disagree, Glenn, but I'm a department head, I'm not a supervisor making that call.
And as a supervisor, I'm telling you that, like I say, variance in all the different departments, I think that department head should make that decision.
I would agree. And I think maybe the other department heads that are here that aren't speaking would probably agree also.
But I still like the 30-day written notice.
Right.
I don't think you should have
I
just
think
a crash
that's
course,
unreasonable.
so either.
Well, in the 14 years that I've been a supervisor, we've never come across this.
But we have them
Yeah,
this last year twice.
the other thing, we did in public health before Sandy, I mean, this is years ago. I think they did not replace a nurse and gave everybody else $1 an hour raise because they were all gonna take that.
That was when Stacy Jordan left.
Is that, okay? Okay,
I don't think it's a dollar, but yes, I did adjust wages
Does he
on their
restructure for-
additional duties. Did adjust wages.
but
But
it was,
still had cost savings and, yeah, I did.
It happened at the conservation board too, and the naturalist had to do seasonal because there wasn't money to hire seasonal help. But to my knowledge, at that time, he didn't get his wages cut.
Which is an easy thing to do when it's an increase for people accepting responsibility for a position that's no longer available. It's a different story when you are,
You're
I don't know.
adding extra duties.
you're taking away duties and you are taking away salary compensation in response to the reduction in duties.
Any other department heads want to speak?
I guess I'm trying to think of a situation in my office, you know, I know in the past they had the GIS where Carissa had been getting an extra. I'm guessing when she left that they just took it away. I think, you know, Heather and I have to take our assessor and deputy test in the next year, what happens if she fails the deputy test? Then what, does she not get to be the deputy? But it's kind of a different situation in my office anyhow, so, you know. She can't be my deputy if she can't pass the test, but then what? So there's a lot of different scenarios
And
that could possibly come up.
If she passes the test, does she get an adjustment in salary?
The conference board hasn't been, you know.
No, she
given
shouldn't. It's an
certification.
expected qualification
Right.
to hold that position.
Right.
I mean, if you don't maintain the qualification, then it's a
Yeah.
understanding that you couldn't hold that position any longer.
But there's so many different scenarios in so many different offices, you know, like, they don't, Deb doesn't have to pass the test to become the deputy, right?
No. Right,
You know,
correct.
so,
Right.
yeah, I kind of agree with him, there's just, each office is so different that it'd be impossible to have a blanket for all the scenarios.
That blanket specific to a position being taken out. Is that right?
Responsibilities taken out of the position.
But one of the options,
Position remains.
one of the options for that, what you're talking about here was keeping them where they're at.
Right, redlining.
And not, whatever it's called, but not getting any raises until everybody is brought up.
Correct.
And they've used that before.
They
Correct?
did.
Yeah.
Secondary roads did, yeah.
Specific to his office, because I mean, you know, if you have somebody higher up, they're never gonna catch up.
I feel like we should take a lot of time with this policy, considering like we may be making more cuts in the future years. So if someone were to leave, would I get to replace them? Would it be the driver's license eventually goes away? And then what do I do with my supervisor for that? I just feel like we're facing a lot of unknowns in the next 2 to 3 years. I would encourage a lot of time with this policy if it applies as a blanket to all department heads.
So is it wrong for him in his department to make that decision without that right now? Can he make that decision and say, I'm going to allow you red line until?
That is what we would expect him to do. Absent of a policy, we would expect the department head to make the decision.
So we could rephrase this to say up to the department head to choose one of the 3 options. To either redline due to, I mean, like if they can see that their budget can take it. Decrease, because their budget can't take, it needs to decrease, or give if they think that they have room to give that employee an option.
I think I don't think we need a policy saying that. I think that exists at this time.
Given that there's a policy currently that says, hey, and this position pays X amount of dollars, this position pays X amount of. And you're not in that position, so I need to adjust.
In saying that, if you think we have a policy already, does that include, a minimum of 30 days notice though? Is that something we want to change?
No. It doesn't include that.
No, we don't have a policy with this, so that would be up to the department head again. To give a notice if they would like to, or to just at that day, don't be going down.
And I think there needs to be a 30-day notice clause.
In respect to the employee being affected. Employee or employees.
And the 30-day would give them time to get adjusted to what they're gonna be getting.
That's wise. Wise.
So
I would like to table this discussion till next week. I make a motion to table.
well, I'd like to discuss it a little further before we table it, so that we can. I had. Some thought process happening. I think what I'm hearing is that. We would like the department head to be able to make the decision whether to redline or to reduce the employee's pay. In the case of a reorganization.
Or give them the option.
And to. And to give that employee a 30-day window. To give that employee a 30-day notice, this is what the department head decides. Is that what I'm hearing?
Okay, you're asking us to make sure we give whatever we do a 30-day notice to the employee.
Yes.
Do they have all three of those options, or the department head just gets to decide?
Well,
I think the department head should just have the two options of either redlining or decreasing the pay.
The department head is the one that's responsible for the budget and the,
Okay.
and making sure that that works. So I would say that that would be.
I have a motion to table, may I still have a second?
Second,
Any more discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
I,
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. Adam. Let's give a secondary road update.
Quick update, blades, we're out blading, winter weather response and sundry, trucks, winter weather response and also sundry. 7 work orders complete, little update on the Taylor Avenue Bridge, they are starting to get all their form work done for the bridge rail. They're starting to also remove their false work and they do have the backfill on the abutment, so it can be easier poured for the rails. I'm not saying that you can drive across it because it's not an open road yet. But for their constructability of the rails, they backfilled it so they could get a concrete truck across. But they are still needing to drop the forms to be able to pour those rails. So,
And false work. What is-
so actually, so hold up the concrete, yeah. So they actually create a deck of plywood, piling underneath that's called false work, so it holds up the wet concrete when they go to pour the deck. So then they have to remove that to essentially have the bridge support its own weight. Then they can pour the bridge railing. So it's called false work. Form work, false work, sorry, I could have just said form work, probably. Weather response last Sunday, and then also Monday, couple rounds.
And so back to the Taylor Bridge, with the anticipated forecast, if it holds true. Do you have are they actively, they're trying to finish this or?
They've been out there every single day.
Okay.
So, and they're gonna get charged every single day.
Okay.
So we've taken another, I think 10 or 12 days, liquidated damages from them on the change order that we processed.
Okay.
So, he had a very aggressive, timeline, he told us last week. And that won't happen because they don't even have the bridge rail or the bridge rail poured or in the false work.
Okay.
So, but he has busy work for them to do. I mean, obviously pulling all those piling out or breaking them off underneath and dropping all that form work is going to be extensive. Okay, to get all that done. Then they gotta haul in another 200 or 300 tons of riprap to riprap the area and make sure that stream goes through the center. We had a problem with the prior because it comes in on a curve and it wants to hit
to the south,
it, well, it wants to go to
to the north.
the north. So we're gonna have them rip wrap that so it stays right between the two piling, the center pier section. So, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you.
Any old business? Any new business? Update on meetings.
I had Midas on. I have an update here, somewhere if I can find it. From the Midas meeting, that you might remember that, our marketing director put out this, advertisement, around the county and, there have been 5 applications that were submitted to be, dart bus drivers. So it is impactful, what that office is doing. We've seen a slight, increase in the ridership in Wright County, but again, one of the major impacts is the fact that we don't have the number of drivers that we need, so, we continue to work on that. As far as member services, Wright County communities that are currently active with Midas, Woolstock is working on a low to moderate income, survey, for CBDG application. Dalles, Rowan, and Wright County are also, working actively with, Midas on, separate projects. And then the Regional Housing Trust Fund, we've had 2 applications received from Wright County concerning that. You remember that fund assists with rehabilitation and repair of owner occupied single family homes for low, income families. Provides up to $15,000 per household as a 5-year forgivable loan with 20% forgiven each year for the resident, that the resident occupies the property. And then the eligibility for that, the homeowners must meet the income guidelines, be current on their property taxes and utilities, and have liquid assets under $25,000. And then I had a meeting on Thursday with, Community and Family Resources. The big news there was construction has begun on the Des Moines campus. And so that's exciting to see that. There was a bunch of pictures that were shared of, the construction that's actually being done there, so. New facility. Yeah.
I had UDMO on Tuesday that I zoomed in on, and then I had, when I got back, it was in person for, the detention center, which is going very smooth now. Our meeting only lasted an hour and 15 minutes, which is
Good deal.
abnormal for the last 6 months, but other than that, that was it.
Good deal.
Charitable Foundation, I know that, Regional Housing did an application to, the Charitable Foundation, right?
Correct.
When is that date, when they'll do an announcement on that?
Don't know for sure what they're,
April sometime.
April, sometime in April.
Right
think
now,
that-
they're going through we had 64 applicants. Last year, there was only like 52.
Mm-hmm.
And so we have the high school, we have a group of kids that go through and they get to pick 4.
Sure.
And then it's moved to the adult
Mhm.
team. So it'll be sometime in April.
And is there a new, Charitable Foundation director, or what was
The
Dwayne
chair-
Asby's?
chairperson would be,
Fair.
it would be Lynette Groom is the,
Well, she's the chair, but they did hire Nick Merritt.
oh, Nick Barrett, yeah.
Yeah, I guess the Wright County Charitable Foundation Executive Director. But I don't think he actually takes full reins of that until end of April, May.
Okay.
He's currently with his business and then he's going to college.
Okay, Nick, and what's his
Barrett
BA?
used to own,
He has the finance building right over here.
BARR?
ETT.
Is that the same, Nick, that was? Yay, very good. Okay. Mhm. What attended the Eagle Grove CDC on Tuesday night? What was that?
Monday,
At-
Monday, right? Tuesday night.
Tuesday night.
And that was it was really interesting to listen to what Eagle Grove all has going on and the activities that they're doing and, projects and community involvement. It was super to hear. It was good. And then I listened to the Zoom meeting on the
Right.
legislation on Friday. And it was pretty short. I think the whole Zoom meeting was maybe 25 minutes long. ISAC did not have a lot to say about what's moving forward, that made it through that first
Mhm.
funnel, so.
Right. Alright. Anything else before the Board of Supervisors?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
A second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. You're adjourned. We'll be in recess
3 minutes.
for 3 minutes. We're back. We're gonna convene as drainage trustees. Do I have approval of the tentative agenda?
So moved.
Second thought.
I have a motion or I have approval and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, same
Aye.
sign. Okay, conference call with Humboldt County to receive JDD 162.7 engineers report and set information.
We are
Could you
voting on
speak
any
up a little
content.
bit? Could you speak up a little bit? We can hardly hear
That's
you.
the
We
whole
got our
thing.
volume up on high.
How do we tune this up?
We don't need an I.
We don't need an I right now.
We were opening our.
We're just opening up our drainage meeting.
Okay.
Okay. Item number 7, 9:30 a.m. conference call with Humboldt County to receive JDD 162-7 engineers report to set informational meeting date and time.
Who's the control county?
We are the control.
So Colin is on. Is
Yep.
this time for him to speak?
Yep, Colin, if you want to go ahead and if there's anything that you want to mention about the report.
Sure. Yeah. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning.
So I guess a lot of this stuff will end up going over again at the meeting. So I won't bore you with too many of the details. And I don't know if you've got a report in front of you.
No,
But
we do not.
you do not? Okay. So basically joint,
Oh,
and I can share my screen if that would help too, if you want to.
That would be great. Please do.
Okay.
Does Humboldt County have the report?
It might be.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
Hey, Colin, give me just
Yeah.
a moment and I'll allow you access.
Okay. Thank you.
Did you post the report? No, there wasn't anything to go over yet, so.
Colin, go ahead and share your screen now.
Okay. All right. Is that popping up on the screen?
Yes.
Okay. So this is these are maps essentially of, I'll go to this one to start. This is a map of Joint Drainage District 162-7. So it has most of the land area. It's about 1,400 acres. And most of that is in Wright County. Highway 17 is going north and south kind of on the west portion here. And on the west side of that, obviously, there's some lands in Humboldt County. So that's why it's a joint drainage district. A petition was filed in last September for improvements here. And this is located, I guess, to the southwest is Prairie Creek. It outlets into Prairie Creek. And then kind of to the east is the Boone River. So as those two come together, this drainage district sits kind of right in between those two streams. So we did some investigations and basically have come up with recommended improvements. I've got this full report here. We looked at the existing capacities of the tile, and as maybe if you've been through drainage meetings before, you've maybe heard the term drainage coefficient. And what we found is that, like we typically do for 100-year-old drainage systems, that the drainage coefficient is far too low for what the needs that we have for today. So for example, we're typically looking at about a half to a 1 inch per day drainage coefficient is what the kind of the design standard is currently. And you can see in some of these areas, it's pretty typically around, 0.14 to 0.2 inches per day. So quite undersized. One interesting thing with this particular drainage district is it's got a large area of surface water that is cast onto it from outside lands. So drainage district number 151 in Wright County to the northeast here in pink, that actually all ends up, if there's surface runoff over the top of the ground, it ends up coming into joint 162-7. And that's over 1,000 acres. And so when they put this DD 151 tile in, they went through a little bit of a hill to go to the east to the Boone River. But the surface water actually still runs off to the west and into joint 162. So that's kind of an interesting, maybe a little bit unusual situation that we have, that also puts more water into this drainage district than it would receive just on its own. So we've come up with kind of what I call is, we've got some options. So I've got 3 different colored lines here for proposed improvements, ranging from 48. It starts at a 48-inch diameter tile and then goes up to this first east-west road. And then we've got potential kind of add-ons, I'll call them, where we could continue on to the northeast, we could continue on to the northwest, and if landowners are interested, we could continue even further to the north. But you can see right now, the northern portion of this drainage district doesn't have a district tile. It's all private. And that's where a lot of the problems, the drainage problems, exist. So that's what we've come up with, at least as a tentative plan. For all of that work together, we've got a cost estimate of $1.66 million, and that would be an average of about $1,200 an acre. What I'm recommending is that we have an informational meeting first. So we invite the landowners, send them a letter, and have an informational meeting that we can talk about all this and not have the pressure of making a decision that day. So we can just have an open conversation about it. And one thing is that this drainage district has never been reclassified. And so, you look at the cost, it's a lot of money, 1.66 million and $1,200 an acre average. Well, if you're a landowner in this drainage district, you ask yourself, well, that's the average, but what am I gonna have to pay? And that's where we typically end up doing pre-classifications. And that way landowners have a better idea of what they will be paying for their property before deciding whether or not to support the project. So we can talk about potentially getting that done before we have a formal hearing to make a decision. And then if there's anything else the landowners want to talk about or bring to our attention, or things that they want to see or not see, and that can all be taken into consideration. And if changes need to be made to this report, it's not set in stone, obviously, at this point. That can be done, and then we can have a formal hearing and decide, how to move forward or not move forward, whichever the case may be. So today, the purpose of this is just to file this report and to have the joint board schedule an informational meeting. So if there's any questions, I can sure try to answer them as best I can. Otherwise, we can go ahead and try to get a meeting scheduled.
And again, this meeting that you're talking about is not for a formal vote on whether or not to proceed with the project. It is just informational. Is that my understanding?
That's correct. That's my recommendation. Obviously, it's up to the joint board, but I'd recommend that we start with an informational meeting that basically no formal decision would be made at that meeting.
And how many landowners are we talking about in this drainage district?
That's a good question. There's not a fair amount of it is, I would guess 15 or less.
Good. And will you send that notice out?
I can, and it doesn't have to be a formal notice. It doesn't have all the notice requirements of a formal hearing. So it can be informal notice, I guess, letter, and I can do that, whichever you'd prefer me to do. If you want me to do that, or Courtney and Terry.
Would you be willing to be here as
Yes.
well,
Yes.
in person?
Can
Yep.
Humboldt County be there also? I would like to be at that meeting.
Yes.
Yeah,
So we'll schedule it like at 1 o'clock
Yeah.
Or you do a different day.
or a different day.
what works for Humboldt County?
Whatever works, just let me know.
How far out are you looking, Colin?
Yeah, I did take a little bit of a look at the dates, and I'd say at a minimum we'd probably want to do 2 weeks from now. So the 16th is a possibility, the 23rd is a possibility, the 30th is a possibility, assuming you want to do it on a Monday.
Are you talking in like later in the day, or are you talking during the day, or?
Have to be later in the day if they're coming. Otherwise, you do like a Tuesday or Wednesday or Thursday.
Like an evening?
That might be more conducive for the landowners.
Right.
You guys make the call.
You guys want to do it on Monday or Tuesday afternoon? Betty's gonna be gone. 16th, 17th, 23rd, 24th.
Jacob, this is Betty Ellis. Just a quick question.
Colin.
Colin, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Jacobson, yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Gard. Colin, on the map that, on the next page, you have, those are the size of tile that you're looking at is to upgrade it to, oh, I guess, yeah, there it is. And that's the size you're looking at putting in,
Yes.
the new size, upsizing it. Is that something that you would, take out the tile and replace with new tile, or would you place something beside it, like a relief tile through of that size?
Yeah, so unless typically what we do is run the new tile, and it doesn't show it very well on that map, but we would run it parallel off to the side of the old tile, leave the old tile there, and unless the old tile has deteriorated
Like,
very badly or is in poor condition and has constant repairs, we typically have not removed it. And if you're trying to install tile, it's really hard to do that if there's water running in the old tile and you're just digging in the same trench and having water dump on you. But you could separately tear out that old tile. That's something that I would like to talk with the landowners about as well. because they would have more knowledge than I would about the condition of the tile. We haven't run a camera, up this whole the whole reach of the tile or anything like that.
Okay. The other thing is would it be beneficial to your company is if in that informal letter that you send out, meeting notice, to have landowners submit pattern tile maps to you so you can see how much pattern tiling is going on and how much extra is going on?
Yeah, that's a good point. I actually have sent a letter out. I don't know how many. That was a few months ago, at least. I sent a letter out to all the landowners in the area asking for that information. I
gotcha.
really only received it from one landowner, the tile maps, but it was a landowner that owns a significant portion of the land involved. So it was still helpful, but that's something I could again ask. I could repeat that request, I guess. Now that we're getting to the point where things are getting more serious, I guess, or we're getting more progress moving towards a decision point.
Right. And even if they brought it to the informal meeting, we
Yeah.
can make copies here for you.
Yep.
Colin, I have a question. This is Bruce.
Yeah.
Tentatively, I mean, if this thing were to move forward, what would be the earliest? I mean, are you talking like fall? Or are you talking, I mean, so your crop, I don't know if there's any seed ground over there, but in that area, they get real touchy about people messing with their seed areas. I don't think there's any in the Humboldt area in that location, but I know they get real antsy if you mess with them. You're gonna mess up their seed acres for the following year.
Realistically, it won't be until fall, because if you think about this, if we have an informational meeting at the end of March, then we're really not going to have a formal hearing right in the middle of planting season. And so you probably wouldn't have an actual decision to move forward until early summer. And then then we got to get the plans and specifications ready, put it out for bid, get the contract and by the time you get all that done, it's going to be probably minimum of September anyways.
Okay, I just wanted to ask.
Yep.
Would Thursday, March 19th at 4:30 here at Wright County Supervisors boardroom work?
That'd work for me, Bob Rasmussen.
Yeah, I could make that work.
Okay.
4:30 on the 19th.
Yep.
Yeah.
Do my best.
And I think that if Humboldt County is okay with it, would you guys mind Colin sending out those letters?
We're okay with it.
Yeah, we're fine with that.
Okay.
Terry will take care of that for you. And us, all of us.
Okay. Do we need to have a motion on that at all?
We need to accept this, Colin?
Yes.
So I need a
I would make a
motion
motion.
to.
I guess I
Go
can't,
ahead.
sorry. I wanted to.
I'll make a motion.
Make a motion to accept
They
the
can make a
report.
motion.
Bruce
I'll make a
just
motion to accept the report with the joint drainage district number 162-7.
And set the,
And set the date.
for an informational meeting only.
Right.
Betty, did you second that?
I second that with the informational meeting date of March 19th at 1:30 p.m. 4:30.
4:30.
4:30, March 19th.
Okay, I have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Alright,
Aye.
Aye.
And the meeting will be in Wright
Humboldt,
County.
all ayes.
Humboldt's all ayes.
Tell them the meeting will be in Wright County.
I did. The meeting will be in Wright County at our courthouse.
Yep.
Okay. Perfect.
All right.
And then,
Anything else? With Humboldt County?
Courtney,
No, I think that's it for us.
Well, you know, this is the day before spring in Humboldt. It's gonna be spring on Friday, so we're gonna have to be busy. We hope.
yeah,
Thank you.
Thanks,
Thank
everyone.
thank you.
Have a great day.
You too.
You too.
Thanks, Colin.
Yep.
All right. Anything else?
Okay. Moving on as drainage trustees. Minutes of the last two meetings. The first meeting is February 23rd, 2026. The Wright County Board of Supervisors met in regular session as trustees of the drainage districts with the following members present. Rasmussen via phone, Luce, Bosch, Lukes, and Ellis. Also present were Courtney Morris, drainage administrator. Other interested parties via Zoom were Robert Watts, Van Mitchell, and Michael. Other interested parties in person were Jacob Hagan and Tyler Buman with Agravia, Colton Vosberg, Craig Jacobson, Daryl Hay, and Daryl Elkin. Chairperson Bosch called the meeting to order at 9:45 a.m. or 9:48 a.m. Motion by Lukes and seconded by Ellis to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carried. Minutes of the previous meeting on February 16th, 2026 were read and approved. There were no drainage claims for payment needing approval. In open forum, Morris stated that she entered the drainage ditch brush and weed control bids into a tabulation sheet and discovered a discrepancy with the rotation totals on the bid submitted by TBB Spraying. Individual district totals were confirmed with TBB Spraying to be correct. TBB Spraying bid rotation 1 at $40,177.60. The correct total is $39,177.60. Rotation 2 was bid at $38,930.92. The correct total is $38,928.32. There were no work orders needing approval. There were no drainage invoices needing approval. The trustees went into recess at 9:52 a.m. The trustees returned from recess at 10 a.m. Jacob Hagan and Tyler Buman with Agravia began the DD 169 informational meeting. Hagan stated the meeting was not an official hearing, and no decisions would be made. Background and details of the district were discussed. Much of the western drainage relies on private tile before reaching the district main, and the private system's effectiveness is limited by the undersized and aging district main. The following improvements were proposed: extend and upsize the main tile westward of Buchanan to better serve lands currently dependent on private tile. Increase outlet size from 30 inches to 36 inches to achieve the recommended half-inch drainage coefficient. Resize upstream sections accordingly for 36-inch, 30-inch, 24-inch, and 20-inch. Keep laterals largely unchanged unless landowners request additions, and consider adding a new lateral south of 330th Street if landowners desire access. Two options were discussed on how to handle the old tile. Cost estimates, concerns from landowners, and next steps wrapped up the informational meeting. Motion by Clues and seconded by Ellis to adjourn the meeting. Motion carried. Any additions or correction?
I'm not certain about Daryl Hay, I think it's H-A-Y-E. Did he sign it on that sheet?
H-A-Y.
H-A-Y, okay,
Yep.
thank you.
This is approved as read. Next one. Next one is February 25th, 2026. The Wright County Board of Supervisors met in special session as trustees of the drainage districts with the following members present. Luce, Bosch via Zoom, Lukes, and Ellis with Rasmussen absent. Also present were Courtney Morris, drainage administrator. A conference call with Hardin, Franklin, and Hamilton County trustees was held to review, approve, and sign an open drainage invoice for JDD 45-Big 4. Present on conference call were Hardin County Supervisors Lance Granzo, BJ Hoffman, and Renee McClellan, and Ann Larson, drainage administrator.
Franklin County Supervisors, Gary McVicker and Richard Lucensmeyer. Hamilton County Supervisors, April Ely and Mary Clausen, and Lori Clobberdance, Drainage Administrator, and Drainage Engineer Lee Galantine. Granzo, Hardin County called the meeting to order at 9:30 a.m. Motion by Clausen, Hamilton County, and seconded by Hoffman, Hardin County, to approve the tentative agenda. Motion carried. Motion by Hoffman, Hardin County, and seconded by McClellan, Hardin County, to approve the invoice for Nightmaster Good PC in the amount of $422.50 for Wright County attorney fees to review a draft 28E agreement. Motion carried. Motion by Clausen, Hamilton County, and seconded by Cluse, Wright County, to adjourn the joint meeting. Motion carried.
Any additions or corrections on that one? Okay, we'll stand to this right as well. Drainage claims, we have none, correct?
Correct.
Open forum for public input regarding drainage districts. Okay. We don't have any work orders and we don't have any drainage invoices, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Anything else before the drainage trustees?
Motion to adjourn.
I have a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed, same sign. Motion carries. We're adjourned.